Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and this is currently my third video. On this video I am going to be giving you a preview for the Manchester City versus West Ham game this Sunday 4:30 kickoff at the Etihad Stadium. So I am going to be giving you some team news building up to the game. I am going to predict a Manchester City win. Of course, you've got Manchester City sitting second in the Premier League. They are 22 points behind Liverpool. City have registered 51 points from 25 Premier League games. And obviously, Pep Guardiola's already given up on City's title ambitions. City, of course, now are going for runners-up in the Premier League. It is between them and Leicester. And, of course, you've got West Ham that are sitting in the relegation zone. They are 18th in the Premier League, are West Ham. They've registered 24 points from 25 Premier League games. West Ham have not won in the Premier League since New Year's Day. So revert back to what I said, I'm going to predict a 3-0 win to Manchester City. Manchester City have got a really good record against West Ham. City, I think, have beaten West Ham in their last 10 games. Of course, the game earlier on this season at the London Stadium was 5-0 to Manchester City. Of course, Manchester City anywhere will want to bounce back from their 2-0 defeat to Tottenham last weekend. Obviously, you saw my match reaction for that game, and City, would have felt hard done by in that game because City didn't actually play bad. They actually, dominated the game. They dominated the possession. They actually created a lot of chances. I think they had a total of 18 shots in the game against Tottenham. Tottenham, of course, only had 3 shots, but two of them, came. Two of them, were the goals from Tottenham. So it just proved that Tottenham, were more clinical in that particular game than Manchester City. Obviously, it was goals from, Steven Bergwijn, him scoring on his debut for Tottenham. I think he's a very good signing for Tottenham, to be fair. And also, the second goal was from Lucas Moura. Obviously, there was a lot of talking points in, the game against Tottenham, of course. A lot of talking points in the game. Obviously, City did miss a penalty through Ilkay Gundogan. There was, controversy, could City, have had another penalty, straight after they missed that one. Obviously, Sterling isn't going to be playing against West Ham on Sunday because obviously, he was involved in a challenge with Dele Alli. Now, reports are coming out saying that Sterling has got a hamstring injury and he's going to be out for weeks. So that's a bad blow for Manchester City because, he's one of their imperative players. And Sterling has been playing regularly this season. I think he's started 23 of 25 of City's 25 games this season. He started 23 of them, but he hasn't scored a goal yet in 2020 as Raheem Sterling, so he isn't going to be playing this weekend. Also, don't forget Zinchenko got sent off against Tottenham, so he's currently suspended, so I don't think he will be playing. Laporte's been out for Man City for quite some time. I think he was out with an injury earlier on this season. I think he's got some kind of overload at the moment as Laporte. Obviously, they've still got Benjamin Mendy out through injury. He sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester City player as Benjamin Mendy. Leroy Sané still out. So City have had, a few injuries this season. But I do believe, like I said, City will bounce back and I think they'll comfortably beat West Ham. Obviously, we're top with West Ham. They're coming into this game on the back of a 3-3 draw with Brighton. And, West Ham have been in really poor form. I think now West Ham's expectations will be to avoid relegation, basically. And, there's a possibility chance that West Ham will go down this season. I think there's a lot of problems at West Ham. There's problems on the pitch. A lot of the aspects of their game need to improve. They've also got problems with their backroom staff. They've also got problems with their manager of West Ham. Obviously, David Moyes is now currently into his second spell as West Ham manager. Obviously, they brought him back in not too long ago, David Moyes. And, like I mentioned, David Moyes isn't good enough for West Ham, like I mentioned. He's a poor manager. I think the only club David Moyes really did good at was Everton because he enjoyed 11 years with Everton, but he was poor for us. He only enjoyed 9 or 10 months with Manchester United, was it something like that? Obviously, he was poor at Real Sociedad, he was poor at Sunderland, he got them relegated. Obviously, wasn't good in his first spell with West Ham. Now, I don't think he's doing well in his second spell with West Ham is David Moyes. So these a lot of problems at West Ham, definitely. And not only that, West Ham have had quite a lot of injuries this season. Obviously they've still got Jack Wilshere out, Felipe Anderson, Yarmolenko, Ryan Fredericks has just recently come back from injury. Fabianski, their goalkeeper's just recently come back from injury. Snodgrass has just come back from injury. But, West Ham have got quite a few decent players in their team. I rate Declan Rice a lot. I think he's a very good holding midfielder. I don't mind Issy Diop, pretty decent centre-half. They've got that Lanzini. Obviously Sebastian Haller, who I think they did get in last summer. And all that, West Ham. So they have got some pretty decent players in their current team. I think they did make one mistake, West Ham, and that was getting rid of Manuel Pellegrini. They sacked him early on in the season. Manuel Pellegrini's, he did pretty decent at City, didn't he? He won the Premier League title with Man City. I think at one point West Ham did have Sam Allardyce. But I think, they shouldn't have got rid of Manuel Pellegrini to then obviously, bring David Moyes back in. Because David Moyes has not got a proven pedigree, like I mentioned. He's never dealt with top players. He is an average manager, so maybe a team like West Ham, and like I mentioned, Everton, you'd expect him to do well, but not at a big club like Man United or Chelsea or Liverpool. David Moyes wouldn't do really well, to be quite honest with you in that. But reverting back to what I said, I'm going to predict a Manchester City win. West Ham did get a player in, I think on deadline day, was it? Jarrod Bowen. I think he possibly, could be making his debut for West Ham against Manchester City. I think West Ham did pay, was it around £22 million for him from Hull City. He's also a former Hereford United player. He was obviously, spectating West Ham's 3-3 draw with Brighton last weekend. Jarrod Bowen is versatile. He can play as a midfielder, he can play as a winger, and he can also play as a forward. But yeah, West Ham did sign him in the January transfer window, so he, I presume, will be making his debut. So yeah, Pep Guardiola, I've been hearing some people saying that, they're convinced that he will quit Manchester City in the summer. I've got to say, Pep Guardiola is still regarded as one of the best managers in the world. Definitely is Pep Guardiola. Obviously, the main explanation why he's good as he is because of Marcelo Bielsa. Because obviously he worked alongside Marcelo Bielsa when he was younger, so you can say that Pep Guardiola is following Marcelo Bielsa's philosophy in that. Guardiola's obviously now won over 100 games. He's won over 100 games in the Premier League as Manchester City manager. Obviously, Pep Guardiola's invested a lot of money into that Manchester City team, since he got recommended into Man City, and he's been at Man City now for quite a few years. I think Pep Guardiola's spent like £1 billion during his, managerial career, including the money he spent at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, but more than half that £1 billion has been invested in Manchester City's team. So he's still a very, very good manager. And Man City have not performed to the standards as we expected from them this season. I thought this season, they was probably going to win the league again, to be quite honest with you, because obviously they've won back-to-back titles. There was hoping this season, Man City, that they could win their third Premier League title on the trot. There was hoping this could happen, but obviously now it isn't going to happen because they are too far behind Liverpool. Liverpool only need six Premier League wins out of 13. Out of the 13 games, they've got remaining. Liverpool only need 6 wins. And of course, Liverpool are set to end their 30-year drought because they are going to definitely win the Premier League this season. It will be their first ever Premier League title, but it will be their 19th overall. So that means they are just 1 point behind us. Liverpool are unbeaten in 42 Premier League games. Their next game's Norwich, so they'll be looking to extend their unbeaten run to 43 in the Premier League. They've won 24 games out of 25, and they've registered 73 points from 25 Premier League games. So Liverpool are breaking records. This season, Liverpool are going to get minimum 100 points, probably more. So in that aspect, they will, break Manchester City's record from a couple of years ago when Manchester City did finish on 100 points. I think Liverpool could finish maybe on 107 or 108 points this season. But Arsenal are the only team at the moment to go undefeated all season in the Premier League era. And Liverpool, could definitely replicate this without a shadow of a doubt. And, Liverpool have not been beat at Anfield for almost 3 years. But, City, did win the domestic treble last season. You know, that was a very, very good achievement. So they are still regarded as one of the best teams in England and that. And, you know, City have got a lot of good players in their team. You know, Aguero, I think he's one of their best players. I think he's one of the best strikers, you know, in the world is Aguero, to be quite honest with you. You know, I do like Bernardo Silva, that he's been in good form for them recently. You know, David Silva. Like I said, Raheem Sterling's decent, but he's going to be a big miss for them. You know, I like Laporte as a centre-half. You know, Joao Cancelo, City did get him in last summer. Riyad Mahrez, I think he's done pretty decent for them since City got him from Leicester in the summer of 2018. You know, Kyle Walker's a decent right-back. You know, Edison's a pretty decent goalkeeper and that. But, you know, City, you know, not going to win the Premier League this season. I still think they're going to get some silver on the board, though, on the other hand. I think, you know, they can, you know, win the FA Cup. City, they've got a great chance of winning that. You know, they won't win the Champions League because they don't have a pedigree in the Champions League, as, you know, Liverpool. I think Liverpool can win the Champions League because Liverpool have got a very good pedigree in the Champions League. Liverpool have won 6 Champions Leagues. So they've won the most Champions Leagues in England. In English clubs, they've won the most Champions League. So they are the most successful team in the Champions League in English clubs. Obviously, overall, it is Real Madrid because they've won the most Champions Leagues of Real Madrid and that. But, you know, and City, you know, I think we'll definitely win the Carabao Cup. They have got Aston Villa in the final. If City do win that, you know, it will be their 3rd Carabao Cup on the trot because they have won it, Man City, in the past 2 seasons. I think they've won it like 4 times out of the past 6 years or something like that. City have got some poor players in their squad. You know, I don't really rate that Rodrigo, have you pronounced his name? Or I think is it Rodrigo, something like that. He's been very, very poor for them. I've got to be honest with you. He's been very, very poor for them. You know, so there's quite a few, you know, poor players for Man City. Benjamin Mendy, like I mentioned, always injured. You know, so Man City, you know, they've got a few poor players in their squad, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But, yeah, so will Man City, you know, consider, you know, getting rid of Pep Guardiola in the summer? Probably, you know, won't happen more than likely. But, yeah, so that's your Man City versus West Ham preview. And even if City do win the game, they will be still, 19 points behind Liverpool. But it's definitely between City and Leicester, for runners-up in the Premier League and that. But, you know, also on this channel, there will be a preview coming up for the Liverpool-Norwich game at Carrow Road. That should be a Liverpool win, definitely. And I've got to say, you know, I think Jurgen Klopp is one of the best managers Liverpool have had in this generation, like I've mentioned on my recent videos. You've got to admire what he's done. You know, Liverpool are in a very, very good position. And, you know, they haven't really spent loads and loads and loads to be in that position. Like I said, it's not always about spending big on players and getting them Glasgow players because it doesn't always guarantee you success. Liverpool have been sensible with their recruitment. The players a unit, the players a team and that. And, you know, they've just got a really, really good squad. And, you know, Liverpool do back their manager and that. You know, you can say it took Jurgen Klopp like 4 years to emulate to a level that he's at now, like Solskjaer was recently saying. But, you know, I think he's built a fantastic team at Liverpool as Jurgen Klopp. And Liverpool have won 3 major honours under Jurgen Klopp. Obviously, you know, they're going to be on course to win their 4th major honour when they win the Premier League. You know, Liverpool won the FIFA Club World Cup. They won the Super Cup early on this season. And they won the Champions League at the end of last season. And that, you know, did Liverpool. And, you know, Liverpool have got a fantastic squad. You know, I think, you know, Allison's a great goalkeeper for them. Adrian's a good backup. You know, they've got Trent Alexander-Arnold in there, you know, probably one of the best right-backs in the world. A good attacking intent, defensive distribution good. Andrew Robertson, fantastic fullback. Virgil van Dijk, best centre-half in the world. I think he's their most expensive signing, Virgil van Dijk. You know, they've got quite a lot of centre-halves in the team of Liverpool. Matip's there. You know, Lovren's still there. Gomez is there. You know, they've got quite a lot of good midfielders of Liverpool as well. You know, Milner's still going strong. He's out injured at the moment. No, is James Milner. You know, he's aging up though, to be fair, James Milner. Fabinho's done really, really well for them recently. You know, Georginio Wijnaldum's a decent player for Liverpool. You know, Naby Keita's decent, you know, so they have got a lot of midfielders in their team. And, you know, Salah, I don't think he's been at his best this season. Recently, he's been in good form. For me, he just hasn't been clinical enough this season as Salah, so that's been the problem. You know, Firmino, I think he's done well this season, scored quite a lot of decent goals. He can create chances and score goals, can Firmino. Mane's done well. I think he's out for quite a while, though, is Sadio Mane, but it still hasn't had a bad effect on Liverpool. You know, they still do continue to win games, you know, because Mane is one of their imperative players. But I think Mane and Firmino have been in better form than Salah, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. In terms of the transfers, Liverpool will try and make more signings in the summer. They have got quite a few players on their agenda. You know, Kai Havertz is on their agenda, Mbappe, you know, Timo Werner. I think Liverpool are still interested in Jadon Sancho. So they will try and get some players in the summer. They got Takuma Minamino in January, at the beginning of January. He should get more chances going on into next season for Liverpool, depending on, you know, who they can get rid of in the summer, because I think Liverpool will get rid of players in the summer, definitely in that, because these two players that Liverpool, I think, you know, need to get rid of. You know, definitely in that. But, you know, I think they will make signings, will Liverpool. You know, they wanted to make more signings in January, you know, reflecting on the injuries that they had. You know, they wanted to, you know, cover up for their injuries, even though realistically they don't really need any signings. But I think they'll make some signings in the summer. But I think, you know, the players they'll get rid of in the summer, probably Klein will go. He's injury prone, he's out injured at the moment. And obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold's Liverpool's preference ahead of Nathaniel Klein. So Nathaniel Klein doesn't get his chances anywhere. Shaqiri, he's another one. He's out injured. I think Liverpool will probably, you know, get rid of him. He's a good backup option. Don't get him on. He makes an impact when he comes on from the bench. But I think Liverpool will consider getting rid of him. Adam Lallana, another player they'll consider getting rid of. You know, he's done all right for them, but his appearances are now limited because he isn't first choice in that midfield. Adam Lallana. Obviously, you know, maybe Joe Matip will be moved on, maybe not in the summer, but at some point in the future. Liverpool could consider getting rid of Divock Origi. He's a decent player, Divock Origi, but, you know, he's a backup to the likes of Firmino, Mane and Salah. You know, he's a Divock Origi. So Liverpool will consider definitely, you know, getting rid of more players. But, you know, I hate Liverpool, as you all know, but got to say, you know, they've been absolutely sensational this season, and it's going to take my club, Manchester United, time, you know, to emulate to Liverpool or Man City's level. Definitely, it's going to take us time. But, you know, Liverpool have done really, really well. You know, I think, like I mentioned, they could still win the Champions League. I don't think they'll win the FA Cup. I'm very sceptical they'll win that because, you know, Liverpool are not, you know, Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool not bothered about the FA Cup, basically. You know, they are into the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time under Jurgen Klopp. You know, they did beat Shrewsbury 1-0, did Liverpool, surprisingly, because Liverpool did put their under-23s out. Klopp did get a lot of criticism for that. You know, Klopp just saw it as, look, you know, we have played a lot of games, so obviously, you know, the senior players do need a rest. But the kids did really, really well against Shrewsbury, like you saw in my match reaction. You know, Liverpool played the likes of Jake Kane, Leighton Clark's in their midfield, Van der Berg at centre-half was good. You know, Nico Williams did well. You know, Curtis Jones, you know, he's on, 2 senior goals now for Liverpool. Harvey Elliott, Liam Miller was playing. You know, Adam Lewis was at left-back. So they went with all their under-23s, you know, so they did beat Shrewsbury 1-0. You know, Liverpool have got Chelsea in the 5th round of the Cup. I think Klopp will, you know, rest all his senior players against Chelsea because Chelsea's obviously, you know, is much more of a tester than Shrewsbury. I think what he'll do is he'll probably play a similar team to what he played against Shrewsbury in the first match against Shrewsbury. So what I think he'll do is he'll play some senior players and he'll play some young players. That's what I think he will do against Chelsea, you know, Jurgen Klopp. This is what I believe, you know, he will currently do. But Liverpool have not won the FA Cup since 2006. So take that into account. But, you know, Liverpool were unlucky not to win the Premier League last season because last season they finished on 97 points. They've come close on quite a few occasions to winning the Premier League, like I mentioned. But, you know, they are going to win it this season. So, like I mentioned, that's your Man City West Ham preview and everything else to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.